Peace and blessings, brothers and sisters. Alpha Quabo, aka Show, here at Radio Diamond, bringing to you the best of ourselves, bringing to you love, unity, and then a lot of black power. And that's exactly what we're feeling today. Black power to everybody around the world. Alpha Quabo, out here from UK to the world, bringing to you the best of ourselves, bringing to you love, unity. And remember, that's what it's about. This is our village. This is our African Parliament. Right here from UK, we broadcast from all over the world. So that's why, brothers and sisters, kings and queens, soldiers and rebels, I need you to promote this message. Let your family know we totally live. Because what we're going to be talking about today, it ain't just about singing and dancing. Because we got to understand we are at war. We are at war. So the question to you, are you going to sit down on your couch? Are you going to sit down inside your house, panicking, scaring by these fearmongers? Or are you going to stand up and protect your family, protect your nation? That's why we're going to be breaking down today. We're going to be having special guests from United States. And then, again, brothers and sisters from all over the world, Jamaica, Congo, Angola, Tanzania, absolutely everybody that been supporting this show. Ghana, Nigeria, what else? Sierra Leone, absolutely everybody. Ethiopia, Mozambique, absolutely everybody. South Africa. Share the message, brothers, because it's about get the message on the ground, get the message in our base. Because remember, everybody got a base. Chinese people got a base, which is in China, even though it's overpopulated. And now they want to go back giving us all this plastic food, plastic rice, everything plastic. Now they're giving us these poison masks. And then Europe is collapsing as well. Anyway, we all know. That is why they want to go over there trying to depopulate our people. So that is why we're asking you this simple question, brother. Simple question. Now that you know that we are at war. We are at war. So the question we're asking to the family worldwide. Give us your 5 steps. Give us your 5 steps to build our military base. So the question we're asking you today, 5 steps how to build our military system to protect the African continent against the Chinese, the European, the American, white American government invasion in our land. They brought African. They assassinate our leaders, from Patrice Lumumba, our great Queen Zinga, all of our great leaders, even in the United States, that stood up to defend our people. Great Khalid Muhammad, give him some black power. Great Marcus Garvey, great Malcolm X, all of our great warrior that gave us sweat, blood, and tears for us to be here. So that is why, without further ado, brothers and sisters, this is the topic today. So the topic today, as you can see right in your screen, you can follow us everywhere. We everywhere. We're on Facebook live. Everybody can see me live on Facebook. We're on the radio platform, Radio Diamond. And brothers and sisters, the most beautiful thing I love to do, please record it. Because in Africa, we know some of our brothers and sisters, they don't have internet. They don't even have electricity. So that is why my brothers and sisters in Ghana, in Angola, in Congo, soon as we press the button that we live, they record it to put on the DVD just so they can spread in the community. Because we understand some of our brothers and sisters here, we sleeping. We love white people. We got to be honest with you, some of our brothers and sisters. Even the Chinese, we love the Chinese. We love everybody. So that is why we're bringing this question to you, brother. So without further ado, I don't want to take much long of your time. Please introduce yourself. We're going to start with the elder. Tell us who you are real quick and what you're doing for the family. Tell us who you are and where are you basing right now. We know our base in Africa, but tell us where are you basing now and what you're doing for the family. I start with the brother, with the elder. I know the elder is in Washington D.C. I guess I'll start with the elder.
Okay, with the elder first.
Yes.
Thank you, brother Alpha Como, for inviting me to your network this morning. My name is Imam Akbar, Abdullah Kareem Bilal. I am the National Chief of Staff of the New Black Panther Party for Self-Defense, and we mean that in every way, and especially putting emphasis on being Pan-Africanist and having a black paramilitary operations. Effective military is a necessity. We are been around since about '89. We started with Brother Aaron Michaels and went on to others. The Honorable Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad was one of our most outspoken members of the New Black Panther Party for Self-Defense. Today, our Chairman Hashim Ekanaton Nzinga, resides again in Atlanta with Brother Rondad. They can team up in Atlanta. And my good brother Kwame here can team up in D.C. We're both here in Washington, D.C., called the DMV, the District, Maryland and Virginia. It's a mid-Atlantic location in the United, some call snakes, some call states, but whatever it is, we're here trapped in this corporation they call America with the 3 Ks and the hells and the smells of North America. And it's today my subtopic in talking to you about no exaggerations and no holds barred in building a black military. Thank you to
wow.
Yes,
So then we move to I guess it's Atlanta. Please introduce yourself to the family, and then rule number 1, just want you to back off a little bit of your camera, just so allowed us to do all the graphics and all the maneuvers. So that's the number 1 rule. Just back up a little bit of your camera and then just talk as loud as just so everybody can hear. Please tell us who you are, where are you located right now, and what you do for the family.
All right, my name is Ron Thomas. What I did and what I do now, I was in the military 8 years, and I learned quite a bit of things, but I'll talk about that when I get into the topic. But what I do now, I've been affected by the pandemic. So right now, I'm trying to figure out how I can basically not be attached to the world's economic system and come up with my own system. I don't want to be tied to this unstable economy. But we're not gonna get into that. We ain't gonna get into that because that's a whole nother conversation. But that's what I do. I'm musically gifted. I sing, write, do all that, and that's what we do. But military wise, I gained a lot of knowledge on why we need to fight, which is why we're all sitting here talking.
Wow. So we got it. Moving to the next city. Please tell us who you are and what exactly you're doing for the family. I know it's the first time you've been on our platform. Please tell us who you are and what you're doing for the family, my brother.
Yes, good morning, everyone. My name is Brother Kwame, and I'm in the Northern Virginia area. I've been working a lot of military defense contracts for the past 10 years. I've been testing a lot of military defense equipment for the U.S. Navy, for the U.S. I've been involved with surveillance projects over in Afghanistan. So when Brother Alpha, he spoke to me. He said we need you to talk about some of your experiences. A lot of talk about how you would be able to contribute what you've learned over in the motherland. And I said, okay, this is a great idea, because I'm all for the economic development of the motherland and also the military development of the motherland, because that's probably the most important right now, because Africa has nowhere protecting itself, So Africa right now needs Brother Imam and also Brother Ron, who has experience, who actually has the boots on the ground experience. And I could help out with my experience with actually testing military defense equipment. I'm all for the upliftment of the motherland at this point in time. We have to do it.
We got it. So I just want to make sure everybody stay in a quiet place, because I can hear a lot of noise coming from I don't know where. Brothers and sisters, the main focus of this show, that's why we brought this special guest today, is really to break it down. Because remember, week in and week out, we have special guests from all over the world to really break it down. Last week we were in Congo. The week before we were in Jamaica. So the week before we were in the United States. So it really about connecting the African brothers and sisters, kings and queens, soldiers and rebels from all over the world to strategize. How can we do for self? Because right now we live in the era that all we do for self, or we going to perish, because we're getting attacked by everybody. We Chinese giving us punch left to right. The Caucasian, the European, they still being given a punch all the time. So now we got even the so-called misleaders in Africa. They punching us as well. They came together even with Europeans to punch us. That's why they study in all these universities, and they dress in smart with suit and tie, but they're still giving us the heavy punch as well, because they allowed the invasion to happen under their watch. So that's why we brought these three brilliant minds with a military background to help us understand it. And the question we're asking you one more time, brothers and sisters, it's give us your 5 steps. In your thoughts, what's your 5 steps to build our military system? Just so we can do for ourselves. We can protect our communities, not only in the continent, even in our communities as well. So that's why we're going to be glad to hear the knowledge, the know-how of these 3 great brothers, just so we can implement. Not about talking and dreaming, put into reality, into practice. That's why we're breaking it down today, brothers and sisters. But before we continue with our guests, I'm going to be playing you a video to see the first stage of the Chinese government. The first stage, because remember, they're going back to stage. We had a meeting, we had a great conversation with our great elder in Africa, war veteran in Uganda. He laid out the 5 steps of the Chinese people. So the first step, let's all agree, it's almost conclude, which is put every leader in Africa in their pocket. So let's watch this video, and then we're going to be right back. So I'm going to be switching off guest. Soon as right after the video, I'll bring you back, and then we're going to be opening up the discussion. So giving us about, the video is probably about 5 minutes. So after this 5 minutes, I'm going to bring you on, and then we're going to be opening up the line. We're going to be opening up the conversation. We're going to be having brothers and sisters in Jamaica tuning in. I know they can't miss this show, because next thing we're going to be Jamaica. Next week, Jamaica. So that we're moving fast. Congo, now United States, now next week Jamaica. So that's what it is. So stay tuned, brother. I will be call you, switch off, and then we're going to be playing the video. Then we're going to bring you on.
Thank you.
So, brothers and sisters, as you say, please tune in. This is the question for you that want to get in touch. Leave your message, brother. If you want to leave your message, be in touch. Don't be afraid, because this is a family discussion. Don't be afraid to challenge me if you want to. If you believe, oh, Alpha, we don't need our military. What we really need, we need to get together with the Chinese. We need to love everybody. So if you really believe, then you can feel free to challenge me, or even challenge the guests. We're ready. So we've been through so much anyway. We've been through Ebola. We survived. We've been through 500-600 plus years of torturing. We survived. So we've been through HIV. We've been through invasion of everybody. We survived. So your challenge is not going to do anything. So actually, it's going to bring a great asset for this conversation. So watch this video, but this is the topic in your screen, my brother. This is the topic. The question we're asking you. 5 steps of how we can build our military system to protect the African continent against the Chinese, the European, and the American government invasion in Africa. That is why, so we have to conclude that there has been a right. We have to conclude that the first stage of the Chinese invasion, The same trick that the Europeans have been doing all, from years after year is the same trick now. This Chinese cats. Oh, they're on a different level. These Chinese cats, they just on a different level. I'm telling you, my brother, these Chinese cats, oh, man, they're terrible. Chinese people, oh my goodness. So that is why, brother, I want you to watch this video real quick to understand the first step. The first step, make sure, Gray. The first step of these Chinese people, is to put all the leaders in their pockets. All the leaders. All the celebrities. Akon, brother Akon, look, we're gonna check you up too, because y'all been building the city over there in Senegal with the Chinese money. So we need to have a conversation too, brother Akon. But this is story for the next episode. So watch this video just so you understand how the Chinese people put our misleaders in their pocket. Watch this video real quick and we're coming right back at you, my brother. Thank you.
Concerns about the amount of debt African countries have gotten themselves in with China. Welcome to Tunacheki, and today we present the top 10 most indebted African countries to China. Remember to subscribe and ring the notification bell so that you do not miss any of our African videos. Number 10. Democratic Republic of Congo. This Central African country has an estimated debt to China to the tune of $3.4 billion. DRC was the first country to exchange mineral resources for loans with China. Number 9. Ghana. This country, located in the west of the continent, has an estimated debt of $3.5 billion. The country's opposition has involved International Monetary Fund, IMF, to help look into Ghana's debt. Number 8. Nigeria. Located in the Gulf of Guinea, Nigeria has an estimated debt of $4.8 billion. The country has also accepted the Chinese yuan as a reserve currency. Number 7. Cameroon. Bordering Nigeria, Cameroon has an estimated debt of $5.5 billion. It was recently disclosed that China has agreed to cancel part of Cameroon's debt. Number 6. Zambia. This landlocked country, located in the south of the continent, owes China an estimated $6 billion. China recently took over Zambia's power supplier ZESCO over unpaid debt. Number 5. Sudan. This East African country has an estimated debt of $6.4 billion. China has recently written off the country's debt incurred in 2015. Number 4. Republic of Congo. Also known as Congo-Brazzaville, this country located in Central Africa has a debt of an estimated $7.3 billion. Corruption has played a role in the debt. Number 3. Kenya. Located in East Africa, Kenya has an estimated debt of $7.9 billion. The country has been taking loans to finance its infrastructure, money whose bigger part has been lost to corruption. Number 2. Ethiopia. This Horn of Africa nation has an estimated debt of $13.5 billion. These debts had slowed down the ambitious Ethiopia-Djibouti railway project. The country has recently had its Chinese debt restructured to an affordable annual repayment level. Number 1.
Guess who's number 1? God damn. Hold on, let me put my... Guess who's number 1? God. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Guess who's number 1? Anyway, let's keep on playing. Roll the tape, brother Kwame.
And the title for the African country with the biggest debt to China goes to Angola. With an estimated debt of 25 billion US dollars, this country located in southern Africa lost a lot of its oil in repayment to Chinese debts. This is despite Angola being the second biggest oil producer in Africa. Thank you for watching, and make sure to subscribe to get the latest African lists, entertainment, pop culture, and news.
Brother, hold on. God, oh my goodness. So now I'm asking you, brother. So we're not going to waste much of your time. We're going to go straight to the point. Now I'm going to ask you, if those countries, majority of those countries, they got mineral resources. Angola is the second biggest oil producer in Africa. Some people say actually they, even with Nigeria, Angola has almost the same as mineral resources that Congo has it. Angola is Congo, basically. Congo is Angola. Is part of the same kingdom. All this Angola, and that's the trick of all these these Muzungus they're creating. It's all a trick. So we all part of the same kingdom. We speak same language. So it ain't no such thing as Angola, Congo, Cameroon, Gabon. We all the same. We all the same. So that is why, brother, we simply kindly asking you, with this debt, how the hell you gonna be able to make a decision that favor your people? This is the first stage of the Chinese power structure. Put our countries in debt. Control our country's economy. This is the first stage. Now the second stage is the military. They're now deploying, bringing their own military. So that is why we need to bring this question now. Because if you now wake up, it's going to be too late. Because they understood already. People are beginning to fight back. Now they're building police stations, even in South Africa. Police stations. Now they're deploying their military. The same way a United States government been doing. So if any leader stand against their policies, their foreign policies, simply they activate the military system and they assassinate our leaders. The same way they did with Lumumba. The same way they did with all of our great kings and queens. The same way they did with Khalid Muhammad. The same way they did with brother Malcolm X. The same way they did with Martin Luther King. That is why we're asking you this question, brother. Give us the first step. We're bringing our special guest. And before we bring our special guest, just a quick notice for you, brother. So a quick message to Bill Gates. I know your crew out there. So you can now leave Africa alone. We potentially found the potential cure for this COVID-19. So all your prediction of all 20,000, 50,000 people in Africa is going to die. We're going to see a lot of bodies in the street. So cut all this bullshit, okay? So we now, shout out to the brothers and sisters in Madagascar. As you can see this image, we potentially found the cure natural. No bee-baboo, no all this chemical that you're trying to inject in our body. No, we potentially, from the people in Madagascar. Let's hear real quick before we bring our guests.
Non. Notre devoir est avant tout de protéger nos peuples, nos enfants et nos familles. Il est donc plus que jamais temps de coordonner nos actions. C'est l'heure de la solidarité africaine. Nous pouvons faire la différence dans la lutte mondiale face à ce coronavirus. Sachez, Monsieur le Président, que Madagascar est prêt à collaborer avec ses frères et sœurs africains. À l'instant même où je vous parle,
So he just translate really quick, because my French is not really that perfect. Just to say, in collaboration with so many African people, countries, they potentially find the cure natural. So get in touch, do your research, my brother. So tell your Bill Gates in Seattle, you better stay over there in your little corner. Don't come to Africa, because we're not going to take your bullshit anymore. So don't stay over there with your vaccine. Give it to your people, give it to your friends. Don't bring that into Africa, especially even your wife Melinda Gates. Now you don't even have ball to stand and you're bringing the women into the war. Come on, man, stand for it. Be a man. But anyway, next conversation, next topic. This is a topic for another conversation as well. So let's bring in our special guest, to then break it down. What's really going on? We're bringing our guest. Okay, we got our guest on the line. Okay, great. So we now got our guest on the line, brothers. That is why we're now going to be open up, and then you feel free, brother, to leave your comment. And then be part of the conversation. You can leave your comment. I can't see you when you put your comment, because you know this radio station is a TV at the same time. I'm doing two things at the same time, radio and TV. So it's like, and the one single mouse, we're connecting all over the world. So that's what we're doing. So, and then we got to press the buttons here. So we're doing two things at the same time. That's why I love my show, our show, because this is our parliament anyway. So going to the elder, first of all, tell us really quick. Obviously, y'all been doing amazing work over there in Washington, D.C., bringing the revolutionary mindset into the forefront. Right now, as this scandemic or pandemic, whatever you people want to call, standing, what is the current state of our mind as African? As you can see, what is the current state? You think we totally in control of this situation, or we just sitting like a baby, panicking, crying, and sitting down? What is your take, Elder?
Yes, we are in a state of captivity in Washington D.C., and the Africans are trapped behind enemy lines.
Just 1 second. Rule number one: just stay a little bit backwards from your camera. That's the rule number one. Always just remember this, just so we can do our maneuver to make sure you're going to be fully on the platform. So, yeah, just want you to move a little bit backwards. That's all we require. Okay, you go. You can go ahead. Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah.
Thank you again, Brother Alpha, Humble, for your sacrifice from your time. There are many things that you could have been doing this morning, but you decided to be with us, and we are Black revolutionaries, Black activists, of course, three of us as a team, to give you something of the military and something for your social. I think we would start with us being in captivity, maybe not realizing the people here that came from Texas, Oklahoma, Louisiana, and it went all the way up to Canada, and some were trapped in places like Ohio and New York, and the borderline states down into Pennsylvania, and Maryland, Delaware, and the DMV, DC, Maryland, Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, called a black belt that stretches from Boston to Houston, Texas. And some went to the Texas border and said, we'll stop in Nevada, Texas on a line. Some went to Golden Triangle, Texas. Some went Oklahoma and Fort Smith, and some went to the borderline and said, I could call it Texarkana, half in Texas, half in Arkansas. And then some got to the next county, say, went to Harris and Dallas County and other counties. But some never, Brother Kwame and your guests, just never got off the plantation. And I think far too many of us were trapped by social and economic, political, cultural circumstances that just never got off the plantation. So our appeal, when you build your 5-step program.
Before we go to the 5 steps, we know the situation around the world to some extent is terrifying the people, people's mind. So the question that we're asking you, based on you being the national chief of staff of the Black Panther movement or party, Black Panther Party, one of the major organizations that gave us the great fighters. So what is your thoughts about the current situation? Because to be honest, on my stand, I've seen so many brothers and sisters completely terrified. terrified in this situation. So what is your thought? What is your thought in the United States and then all over the world?
We're in a three-step program. Number one, to set us up. Number two, to take what we have, especially those who feel they have nothing. And number three, to kill us.
Again, I need you to go back a little because you're too close to the camera. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
And we go to that three-step program of the opposition. We call them the opposition. The notes from Frederick Douglass and Dr. Kwame, and again, Dr. Kwame Torre or Stokely Carmichael said that we have to organize and organize, but against the opposition. So Dr. Frederick Douglass told us to organize against the opposition. And the opposition has set us up, number one, and that is that you're in, they gave you the college, the Australia, they said Africa and in Asia and Europe, North America, South America, Antarctica, North Pole, South Pole. But on the very last year, when they're about to put you in junior college, they told you you're Asian. So we've been set up by the European and the Asian, they call them Euro-Asians, to strip the economy and natural mineral resources of Africa and to strip the resources, your economic and social resources and cultural resources here on the ground in Washington, D.C., symbolic of all of America is in captivity, all of Black America, all Africans, as we call for sanctions on the born day of the Honorable Haji Malik Shabazz Malcolm X. We call for full and complete sanctions. And that is our perspective on our current circumstances. This is not, I will explain to you, not a virus. See, the virus is when you have respiratory issues. Virus is when you have diarrhea and fevers. It's a entrapment of the origin is a bacteria crossbreeded, what you call wet markets. The crossbreeded wet market produces something in transitional transformation to become a black market meat in say Washington, Atlanta, in the mid-Atlantic, Texas, California, San Francisco treats. And these Chinatowns have swine market. The swine market merges with the new germ or bacteria, and then it multiplies. Once it multiplies, then it spreads out and escalates, as you saw coming out of China into Japan, into Vietnam, into those Asian nations in the area, and it got to the eye. The three eyes were Iraq, Iran, and Italy. When it hit Italy, it nearly wiped that boot. Sicily is at the boot of Italy, and almost wiped all the Italians, including the Pope, because all of the corruption is coming out of there, spreading towards America, you see. They've clocked it in London. See, it wasn't big news when it hit Boris Johnson of the UK, right there where you are, Brother Alpha. It wasn't such a big news. They said, oh, he's going to get over it. It became big news when they brought it to the doorsteps of black people, and the numbers escalated off the chart. Double, triple, quadruple numbers.
Absolutely. You hold it right there. You
pandemic.
You hold
ending our diaspora.
Exactly. You hold it right there, brother. Go straight to Atlanta. So, brother Rowan, you based on your experience, you're a former military. Just give us a little bit of quick insight, because I know you serve in Iraq. I guess I'm not sure. Can you just give us a little background of your role while you were in the military? And which country did you serve?
I served.
And then I need you to step back because your camera, your head is cutting your camera's cutting your head. Go ahead.
I served in the Operation Enduring Freedom.
Uh-huh.
Still cutting your head. I think you have to lift your camera up a little bit.
Yeah, right there, Kwame. Rob, let me see. There you go, right there, you ready?
Okay, go ahead, my brother. Go ahead.
The Operation Enduring Freedom campaign, and that was a very difficult time because, as I told you previously, I joined the military for different reasons. My job at that time, in my mind, I didn't want to fight another man's war. I went into the military for school. But when we got into the conflict, quotation marks, when we got into the conflict, my mind changed. When I got into that particular area, when we got into the conflict, we were watching the news, and we got to be careful what we listening to on the news because of the propaganda, that was being displayed. And so being in the military, like I said, it afforded me so much information. You hear a lot of people say the military ain't for the black man and, this, that, and the other. But because I got in, I gained insight on what the real issue was and why we were there. Because, like I said, we were watching the news while the conflict was going on. A lot of times when you're going out, you got different groups transitioning in and out. And so while we were watching certain conflicts, there were other things being reported on the news that wasn't true. So one of the big things that I want to put out is, while we're in this issue, this conflict, this pandemic, we have to be careful what we're watching on the news, because they're only going to put out this fear concept. Because if I get you scared enough, it's not about just putting out the fear, but what is the fear going to make you do?
Right. So therefore, you been in just remember, you serve in Iran or Iraq? Just so.
Say again?
Did you serve in Iran or Iraq? We kind of confused.
Iraq.
Oh, Iraq. Okay. So being on the battlefield, seeing you in the battlefield, you began to be on the battlefield and fight. So now, bring into this situation here. So, what is your thoughts about the behavior of our people, black people? Because we've been through so much. So, but to some extent, I see some brothers and sisters totally like a baby. Oh, don't come to me. Oh, don't do this. They like a baby. They terrified. So your the question that we're asking you, and I go straight to the point. What do you see? What do you see? What do you see right now in our communities?
In our community, man, we don't know our history. You got to know your history, because if you don't know your history, you're bound to keep repeating over and over again. So you got to look at your history, military-wise, culturally. You got to know your history. And fear, especially when you're dealing with the men, it's not good for a man to be emotional, because we can't make sound decisions when we're emotional. So the fear is to get you in your emotions. And because we are black people, we are the most passionate, we are the most engaged, not just here, but when you put fear in the mix, you get confused and you get bamboozled, because fear it interjects your thoughts. So if I can get you thinking on what I got you thinking on, the fear tactics, and where it's coming from and why we being targeted. If I can interject your thoughts with fear, you're not gonna make a sound decision, and that's the problem. We gotta stop engaging in what they want us to look at and look at the real issue. So that's what I see. We don't know our history, and because we don't know our history, we keep repeating ourselves. Why are we being targeted? For resources.
Stop the resources right there. Hold your thoughts right there. Go to the brother in Virginia, because we're moving fast. So go to brother in Virginia. We know we had an off conversation. You dealing with weapons. You understand weapons system. You are engineer. So you dealing with weapons that can potentially kill. and then defend at the same time people. So, in your thoughts, the current situation now, are we fully need to protect to have something just so we can protect ourselves? Because you can be going out in the streets and then get gunned down by the police just like this. So, what is your thought, brother?
Yeah, I've been testing military defense weapon systems for the past 10 years on different military defense contracts, and throughout the years, I was just doing it. It was a job, but then with everything going on and with
Just
my weight,
back it off of the camera. That's the rule number one for everybody. Rule number one. Back off your camera. Go ahead, brother.
right? So it was a job for me, at one point in time, but then you get to a point where you realize, okay, it's important. There's a reason why, the U.S. has invested so much money in military defense weapons, and I didn't realize it in my younger years. But now, what's going on in Africa, how Africa is being hit, left, right, and center by different countries, how Africa is being infiltrated. And I realized, I'm like, the reason why that's happening is because the motherland does not have a strong military defense system, And at the end of the day, you and I, we spoke a couple of days ago, Africa is being trained by, other countries. The military defense is being trained by by pretty much our enemies, So I realize it's important to have a strong military base, and the motherland does not have that right now. And with my experience and everybody else's, and Brother Ron's experience and Brother Imam's experience, we can change that.
Wow. So go to the brother in Washington D.C. I call him elder because he's the elder of here in this discussion. So we just have, in Africa, this village, we have to give the respect to the elders. Once they're elder, so they know much. So, and that's why we want to suck your knowledge and give it to the people worldwide, just so we can drink it. So, so talking about your experience, obviously drinking the wisdom of great Khalid Muhammad, great honorable Louis Farrakhan, Elijah Muhammad, Malcolm X, all these great fighters over there. So right now, we definitely at war. So when they implement martial law, which is pretty much already implemented, what can we maneuver to protect our communities? Because once they bring in the martial law, we, the black people, are going to be the first of the list. Martial law all over the world. I'm not only talking about in the United States, but all over the world. We as black people are going to be the first of the list. What is your thoughts about it?
Yes, sir. As we follow the advice of our best point guard of all of those great men that we have come to honor, from the Honorable Nat Turner and Dr. Frederick Douglass, Marcus Messiah Garvey, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and one of his best point guards, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, and one of his best point guards, the Honorable Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad. And they've all taught and instructed me, including Kwame Torre Stokely Carmichael, one of the best of all of us, including Dr. Malik Zulu Shabazz and our National Chairman Hashim Akhenaten Nzinga. And the strategy that I bring from their table is the recruitment, the fish drive. No organization, no network is any better than its ability to do effective community outreach or fish in, bring in those, and then spread the word that we are seeking military, that we are arming ourselves against a vicious enemy of ours. And some are skilled with the guns, skilled in self-defense, because we are the new Black Panther Party for self-defense, defending ourselves against the opposition, no matter what that opposition. The Honorable Harriet Tubman had to again bring the arm against one that was a potential comrade because he had lost the vision, lost focus, and wanted maybe perhaps to return to the plantation or warn the slave master that they were going to escape from the plantation. Well, we want you to warn them that we are bringing sanctions against all of our open enemies, that we don't have to buy. Our scientists, is when Bush was told by the Chinese ambassador that you accused me of stealing a secret, he said, but our scientists have had this stuff all of the time. This is no secret. So I say today that our black scientists and military geniuses have had this all the time. That's no secret. But the secret is that they underestimated when this United States, they called the 13 colonies, went against the bloody Brit. They overestimated the ability of the Brits to put down the 13 colonies. But they underestimated the ability and underestimated the stratagems of war that was gained by those calling themselves leaders of 13 colonies, or the United States Corporation had gotten stratagems of war from the African black they call slaves, so-called slaves. We've never been a slave because we always had mineral resources, always had scientists among us. They were just trying to keep those things secret, that our human resources were overwhelming, and therefore they overwhelmed the bloody Brits. Not only did they bow down, but they say you got no sharpshooters. Do you think those ones with the guy Patrick Henry said, give me liberty or death? Do you think he gave a damn about a sharpshooter? And don't you know, they say, oh, well, you got no Navy. Do you think the one General Washington going up against General Cornwallis, do you think he gave a damn about a goddamn Navy? No, he said, give me liberty or death, right? So we adopt that same, we say freedom or death here at the Black Activist Black Network at the New Black Panther Party. It's freedom or death. We must have self-determination for freedom or death.
Wow. Bring it to Brother Ron in Atlanta. Obviously, so many of our brothers and sisters now, some of them are beginning to realize we have to build a strong connection with the continent, because the continent is our base. I don't care what you're saying. The continent is our base. So you have an experience of, explain to us about the African situation, because we got African there, bringing the expertise to even lock down our military systems over there. We got the Russians coming over there, training our troops. So what is your take about the African? Because they haven't been doing much, and then even about NATO. What is your take? Because I know you got experience by being in the military in the United States. You might have experience in NATO's and African and all this organization. So can you elaborate more, brother?
Well, when you look at that situation with AFRICOM, my first question is, why do we have somebody defending African borders that are not African? Why? Why are we allowing another entity, whether it be racial or whether it be militarization? Why is that happening? Because I want to go off of what the other brother was saying, because first of all, we got all the resources. We have not only all the resources, but military-wise, we have strategy. So why is another man who is not black teaching a black man how to fight? Because angles, there are military angles that those guys may not know. Well, yeah, the way you doing it, that's good, but do it this way. Why are you telling me how to do when I started it? War situations and military strategies came from us. So why are we allowing other people to teach us? That it makes no sense to me. if you go back into the apartheid and you go into the Hutu and Tutsi situation, the problem we went into when we went into apartheid, when we went to the Hutu and Tutsi situation, it was because another man interfered in our situations over there. So what happened was you got another race sitting in country telling one side of the race, well, you better than them. And we bought into it. So why are we buying into another man's system when we got our own system? That's a problem for me.
Wow. So, Brother Kwame, same question, a little bit twisted, but obviously now we know, because by you studying all this weapon system, United States and in Europe, they got a great advanced programs to build weapon that can destroy everything. So, in your thoughts, should the African government or the military system, should they start, or African generals and all them soldiers that they defend the nation? Because we understand the military, if they receive order by the general or by the hierarchy, they will execute according with the pretension of defending the nation. So do you reckon, in terms of technology, we're too far behind to compare to these nations here in the West and in Europe, in Africa?
Yeah, Africa is way behind the eight ball. Africa doesn't even have a military that could defend themselves against, honestly speaking, U.S., France, Great Britain. Those countries, they could pretty much do what they want on the African continent, and that's why they're there. They know the capabilities. They know that the motherland doesn't have technology. Africa doesn't have a navy. Africa doesn't have an air force. Africa, they have troops, but guess what? Those troops are being trained by foreign interests. They're being trained by France. They're being trained by Russia. They're being trained by U.S., by the United States, and that's from the simple fact that Africa does not have a military system. There are no cruisers and destroyers in Africa. They're not being built by Africa. Africa doesn't have any carriers, and again, they don't have any jets. So how could Africa, defend itself? Another country, and it's proven day by day. Other countries, they just set up bases at will on the African continent. But once again, it's proven, and I know for a fact, and everybody who's probably listening, and the brothers who are on the panel, they know that Africa does not have the technology, and they're not even working on it. They're not even working on it as we speak, and that is a big problem.
Wow. So go to the United States, go to Washington D.C. One of the elder. Give us the first step, practical step. Give us the first practical step. If you wanna start your military system, because we need to send this message to the misleaders in Africa. Give us the first practical step.
We must never ever underestimate the stratagems of war that's still with the African military might, that they have taken the uranium from Africa and much in Uganda, and we must assume the same posture of Idi Amin, Robert Mugabe, Kwame Nkrumah, Prince Lumumba.
Everybody, I just want you to move. I just want you to move back from your camera. So, yes, great.
Dr. Zulu didn't give a damn about how many Brits and how many Frenchmen were at the door. But the self-determination, you have powers that we're not using when we use our inner strength, our spiritual strength, and the power of the ancestors against the enemy. And Never, never, the Most High God is telling me, have He given the upper hand to the wicked and evil one over the righteous, even though it may appear that they have so much power. But these are things they've stolen from Africa to get that power. The components in their little cell phones, the components and semiconductors in their little computer systems. The actual bomb itself, that mechanism is triggered by uranium, which is the best high quality uranium that is found in Africa before the Chinese enrich or the European enriches it with an isotope and then stretch the uranium as well as the cocaine and the heroin.
Wow. So moving to brother Rowan, give us your first step, your first step, out to starting a strong military system, brothers and sisters. And then obviously the conversation is you as well, is on you. The question is on you as well. Give us your 5-step, brother. In your comments, give us your 5-step. If you want to build your military base, give us your 5-step, just so we can, we can just sneak in and give it to our leaders. Say, what, look, this is a 5-step. The Americans not telling you, but we're telling you, based on the experience that we acquire here in the United States or in Europe. We study with them. We to some extent we like a spy. We study with them, so we know their tricks. So we came here now to fully lay down to you, Miss Leader in the continent. This is your 5-step. So, brother Rowan, give us your first step. How to build a strong military base, brother.
Well, I said earlier, you got to know your history. As I said earlier, mentioning the Hutu and Tutsi conflict, and then you got the apartheid issue. Is why are we allowing other people to control what belongs to us in the first place? Why are we accepting $60 billion in financial support? What does that support entail? How much control is being given, to these countries, mainly China right now. That's the focus. Why is $60 billion being given? And what is it? What are we do? And what are they do within that $60 million? See, we got to know our history, and we have to understand the angle that they're taking. So if we look at past conflicts, whether it be apartheid, whether it be the Hutu and Tutsi situation, and other things that were civil, conflict within the country. If you look at what our motivation, you got to find out what your motivation is, because you got people behind the table taking kickbacks, as me and Kwame were talking about earlier. You got to find what's the motivation. What is the motivation? What are we trying to gain, and what are people trying to gain on us? That's the problem. So you got to know your history, because if you don't know your history, you bound to keep going in circles. You bound to keep going, and we got like the elder said. He said, why are we not gaining confidence in what we already have? It's like I was saying earlier. You got to understand, everything known to man is in Africa. So why are we borrowing money from China? Are you kidding me? That's crazy. We're the richest country in the nation, period. I mean, on the globe, the richest. I don't understand that. Why are we taking advice from people? So you gotta know your history, because if you don't know your history, you gonna keep chasing your tail. That's
Wow. So brothers and sisters, we're gonna be opening up our line, because we got a political commentator in different part of Africa and Jamaica. So, and then we got one. So we're just gonna open up our line, brothers and sisters. Give your thoughts, give your comment, real quick. We're just gonna open up this line, straight up from the land of the great Marcus Garvey. Please tell us who you are and what you're doing for the family, brother.
Blessing, Brother Kabu. This is Ras Oshing, also known as Paulus. I'm an Ethiopian Orthodox Tehido Christian. We follow the full teaching of His Imperial Majesty, including the indigenous faith that came out of Mount Zion, our spirituality, the full definition of the great spirituality of the great African. Remember, my brother, the first step for Africa security is to abandon the constitution of European that has been ruling in individual states of Africa. Our security, as you know, by Africa, the great leaders of Africa, our strategy, warfare is second to none. We in Ethiopia, as you know, has never been conquered. And in recent years, we fought against Italy, the Italian with modern equipment, with their modern army. And under the great general, His Imperial Majesty, Haile Selassie, we were able to defeat them. Under Emperor Menelik, we was able to defeat them by the Battle of Dawa. So when it comes on to the spirituality and the natural warrior instinct of the great conquering lions, we have the strategy, we have the personnel, we in the diaspora, we hold the key, not only to African security, but the African development. So we have experienced all the knowledge of England. We have experienced all the knowledge of the German, the Frenchman, and also the American. So my beloved brother, this COVID so-called pandemic that has given the African the opportunity to look internally, because our strength and our development. Now, as it comes to why China, why does Africa owe China anything? Africa is the resource of every nation. So if China gives any state of Africa any money, we have the asset, we have the resources. So I want to ask the question, what is our African leader signing? Because we do not need to be in debt to no one. The only time when you're in debt is when you have no asset, you have no resources of your own self, and you have leaders who are corrupted, who is selling out your country.
Okay,
Africa
go
is
ahead.
in debt to no one.
Hold on, my brother. Hold on right there, real quick, before I let you go, real quick. So give us a quick 5-step, real quick, in about 1 minute. Give us quick 5-step for us to build our military base. Quick 5-step, my brother.
Our
Hoshi.
military bases can only be secured when we as Africans come together as one. Just as our great ambassador that was terminated at the United Nations. Just as we said, we know right now, Brother Kabu, Africans don't need to fear. Africa just need to come together. Africa must realize our spirituality that came down the Nile Valley is our superpower. With our strategic battle of warfare, Africa is second to none when it comes to war. You know that, my brother.
Yes, oh yes, brother. So real quick, we're gonna be having obviously we're gonna be having powerful guests from Jamaica. I know you're in the land of the great warriors, of the great fighters over there. So a quick message to the family worldwide, because now we understand that we're getting the invasions happening from all over the world. Real quick, 1 minute before I let you go.
Brother Kabu, since Pan-Africanism over 100 years ago, we've enlightened the issues and problems of Africa. Right through, for over 100 years, right through the Rastafarian that came up and told us repatriation to your own land and to possess it was the only solution. So when we speak of security, security can only come when we Africans come together as one. We will then be able to deal with the security issue, because Africa, each state have their own army. But we have never centralized the power of Africa. Africa as Ethiopia, but we've never come together as how it should be according to the ancient ancestors. And now that we, the black man back, is against the wall, there's no other period in history that has given us this opportunity to finally come together, especially when we know what the dragon of China is intending to do and the ulterior motive of the Chinaman. We've already been through 600 years of European European subjugation, European slaughter, atrocities. We have been through every pandemic of atrocity that has ever been meted out to any human being on this planet. And we are still here, Brother Kabu. The African is still here because we are the original custodian of this earth.
Wow, wow, wow. As you can hear the power. So next week, brother, we're going to be having warriors in Jamaica.
We're looking forward, my
from,
brother.
from Jamaica.
I want to send a blessing to all the brethren there in the studio abroad who is part of this broadcast. This is the time, my brother. We do have the great intellectual mind. We have the great creators. All Africa needs is to just come together. And the rest of the problem that confront us, we'll be able to sort it because our spirituality is the creator of civilization. And our spirituality has never failed the great Ethio-Africans. Never.
Wow, as you can see, brother Hoshin in Jamaica. So we're gonna be going back to our brothers and sisters in the United States. As you can see, brother, we gotta turn into our spirituality. Because remember, that's why they hate Ginjan Desaline. That's why they hate all these great fighters, because that's why they hate Shaka Zulu. Understand, my brother. Going to the elder real quick. Why is it important for us to highlight our spirituality? Because we understand before you go to the war, if you're spiritually weak, you're already gone. So, elder, explain to the family, because obviously you've been through a lot. So what is your thought about the spirituality?
I will faithfully and honorably submit to you that we're already together. We're just not having the right discussions. The churches are packed right now in many parts of the world still.
Back in the camera, back in the camera, elder, just back.
Okay.
Back.
They're tuned in to their perspective. I guess.
Just 1 second. Just 1 second. Don't worry about the sound. The sound is totally fine. You can go as back as you can. That's all we need. Otherwise, people won't go
we want
see.
to make this thing out as quickly as we can, as accurately as we can.
Yeah.
From the stratagems of war against your enemy. No exaggerations and no holds barred. We're asking to spread the word of sanctions on the Chinese, the Asians, the Eurasians, and the black man to buy, sell, and trade with himself.
Hold on, elder. We're asking you the spirituality with our powerful force, because we, as we have to keep incline ourselves into our spirituality, because this is one of the components that we're missing, and that we renegated. So, what is your thoughts about the spiritual side and the physical side?
We already have it through our Kemetic science, through the institutions of Timbuktu, through the Islam, the Christianity, the African tribal religions, through the Honorable Haile Selassie. When you say Jah Rastafari, that includes all the African people, whether they bear witness or not, through the temples of Israel, through the prophets of Israel. The Isa ibn Maryam, sallallahu alayhi wasallam, said that I have come not to change, but I have come to fulfill. But he said, oh Messiah, oh black Messiah, what is it that you have come to fulfill? He said, it is the commandments and it is the laws that was given to Musa alayhi salatu wasalam, or to Moses and to Abraham. That's what was given to Akhenaten in the Kemetic science has not changed. The one originator of the heavens and the earth, the one divine power that caused while kun fa yakun, that say be and exist. The planet Earth existed on the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Most High God. We delivered the prophecy came right from the mouth of all of those African descendants, whether you go through the chain at Timbuktu, whether you go through the prophecy of Musa, Abraham, and Adam, it means exactly the same thing. It's saying exactly the same thing to Christianity, Muslim. Stop saying the Muslim Christians don't know. Are you telling me that Dr. Khalid Muhammad didn't know what he was talking about? Are you telling me that Malcolm X didn't know what he's talking about? Are you telling me that Elijah Muhammad didn't know? You telling me Dr. King didn't know? Or that's an embarrassment to yourself to say those great leaders didn't know what they're talking about. They told us, they gave us a strategy of war. Now we have to use it. For I have prophesied amongst my own, but yet they have received me not. You have to wake it up all the way, 100% black power.
Wow, wow. Going to Brother Kwame, obviously, when you really push the trigger, when you decide to go to war, you got to have a spiritual power in your side, in your mind. So what is your thoughts about the spiritual side, Brother
On the
Kwame?
spiritual side, yeah, that's very important. Um, you got to remember, the European, they learned a lot of our spiritual knowledge, and they're actually using it against us at this point in time. Um, but it's very important to be spiritual, because that will help you in all aspects of life. You know, using nature to your advantage, using your ancestral spirituality, you know, to gain advantage, you know, in all aspects of life, you know. But that's what's lacking right now, you know. On the military side, I mean, you can still use African mysticism, you know, to win wars and battles. It's been proven. It's been proven in the past. I mean, look, we've all heard stories of Shaka Zulu and his warriors, you know, fighting against the British, how the British bullets were bouncing off. Um, Shaka Zulu and his warriors, the bullets were bouncing off of them and their shields and whatnot. Um, African mysticism was used in Haiti. You know, Toussaint Overture, you know, and his men, they beat the shit out of the French. They almost wiped them out. You know, so that's what's lacking right now in Africa. We need to go back to African mysticism. You know, we need to, you know, get our soldiers together, have them trained in special tactics, special forces, have special forces out there, and use African mysticism to train them. You know, and keep it secret. You have to keep it secret.
Wow, wow. So going to Brother Ryan, some question to you. You've been in the battlefield. So do you reckon the spiritual side has to be totally aligned with the physical, just so you can lose the fear? Because right now they got us spiritually, even at this present moment. All this media, all this message, subliminal message they've been sending to our people. People have been paralyzing, and then they already lost the war before they even step out in the streets. So, what is your thought about the spiritual and then the physical side, brother? Rowan in Atlanta.
When you're dealing with the spiritual side, when you look in the Bible, in any battle that was fought, God was involved. And so I want to go to John 1:1, where it says, "In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God, and the Word." Excuse me, hold on, let me read it word for verbatim. "In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. He is the beginning with God." So let's go back to Genesis when God created Adam and Eve. That's not war there, but I want to explain something, give you a basis. You know, he didn't speak us into existence. He formed us with his hands and then breathed into us. And so using John 1:1, when he breathed into us, him being words, he, when you skip spirituality, you gotta you spirit being breathing into us. And if you go to Genesis, where man was created, it said God breathed into man, and man became a living soul. So when you go down all in history, if you skip spirituality, because spirituality in war, God gave you insight, and this is the problem. This is why we're missing things military wise, because we're missing insight. Got to give you a overview of what's really going on, because when you're down on the ground, level wise, when I'm talking about man to man or country to country, see, we're looking at each other. But see, if you go to the one that's on high, you know what I'm saying, God can see over these certain things. And so we're missing spiritual insight. So if you don't include spiritual insight, we're not talking about, you know, the manipulation of the word and the commercialization of the word. We're looking at the experience and that's the word I want to use. But we're looking at the reality of spirituality, because we could talk about the commercialization of the word, and how the white man basically used the word against us. You know what I'm saying? To teach us to get into slavery and all this other different stuff. But if you don't have insight, you already lost the battle. So you got to get a connection with God and leave all this other stuff alone. And we won't get into that. But you have to have a connection. If you don't have a connection spiritually, you're going to mess something up. You're not going to have an inside laid on what's really going on.
Wow. So brothers and sisters, as you, we got another caller on the line as well, because this is just keep on going, because we got people trying to call, and obviously, yes, we definitely live. Please, greetings. Who you calling, real quick?
Hello, am I on air now?
Yes, you're on air. Who
Yes,
are
hi
we talking
there.
to?
Hi, Prince Alpha. My name is Macy Barrett.
Okay, so makes it matter. So obviously, tell us about real quick the topic. So I know you launched your petition real quick. Do you want to tell anything to the family real quick?
Yes. Well,
Go ahead.
Okay. Well, the reason why I'm calling, I would like to share some disturbing news that only came to me yesterday. And what happened yesterday, it was breaking news that Sierra Leone's former social welfare minister, Dr. Sylvia Blyden, was arrested at 1:15 p.m. and apparently this honourable lady was refused bail without any concrete evidence to keep her in incarceration. Now, the reason why I did the petition was because detention condition in the cell is extremely deplorable, as she has no privacy as a woman, not even to go to the bathroom. It is therefore questionable and suspicious why the government allowed a woman to be locked up with 5 men convicted of crimes and rape. A short biography of this honourable lady. She's a role model for the women and young people in her country. She was the first female newspaper publisher in Sierra Leone. She is a humanitarian. She has adopted hundreds of children and supports and fights for the rights of anyone who has been treated unfairly. I'm calling on all people from around the world to sign my petition and also write a letter to the president of Sierra Leone to immediately release Dr. Sylvia Blyden, or at least put her in a cell with other women.
Wow. So tell us about where can people find your petition real quick, because obviously we're dealing with
it is on change. It is on change.org. But what I can do, I can send you the link, Prince Alpha, and then probably you can pass it on as well. But it's on change.org, and the petition is called "Women Should Be Treated Equally incarcerated separately to men."
Wow. I think send the message to us. You send the message to us. We're gonna make sure we're gonna send it to our platform and to our brothers and sisters all over the world. Because now, come on, Sierra Leone government, you can't lock our queens just like that. So no, that's unacceptable. So we definitely gonna talk off air. But real quick before I let you go, one step to build our military system, in your thoughts, one step that comes to your mind to build our military system, what we need.
Right. Well, for me, I am a historian, so I go back to history. As far as I'm concerned, we need to get back to how we was when we had military. Each country had a military, and then overall, because we were united, we all fought for each other. So we need a military in each country, and we need one military set apart to fight for the whole of the continent of Africa. And also we need a military in our own way as people, as black people throughout the world, to unite together and fight for the cause of Africa.
Wow. Thank you so much. And then we're definitely gonna get your petition to the people, especially in Sierra Leone as well, because we know brothers and sisters from Sierra Leone. I'm sure we're gonna get the petition over there. Thank you so much, and then have a great Sunday.
Thank you.
So, brother, as you can hear, we need to support our queen. So, anyway, another topic. Go back to our conversation, because brother, the elder in Washington D.C. Obviously, now we understand the Chinese invasion. It's happening, and it's real. What is your thoughts about the lack of human right for the Chinese, because they just on the next level, these Chinese people. So we've seen how they wanted to take over our land. So what is your thoughts about the Chinese behavior towards our African people worldwide?
My stratagems of war against the open and vicious enemies of ours is to recruit strongly among self and use the full intention to rally your forces and separate, to drill, to get yourself sharp, alert mentally, physically, spiritually, culturally. Be prepared to re-educate and reorganize and restructure yourself. You have to remake yourself. You have to make a new man. Malcolm wasn't that man when he met Elijah. Oh, but he became a man. And every black activist, every black revolutionary want a piece of Malcolm X in their structure.
Yeah, yes. Hold on, Ella. What is your thoughts about the Chinese behavior towards our people? Well, because right now, hold on. Right now, they're beating our people in China. They've mistreating our people in the continent. So what is your thoughts about the Chinese behavior? Even to some extent, they look down on the black American brothers and sisters over there. So what is your thoughts about the Chinese behavior?
Separate and launch full-blown sanctions against all Asian markets. I want to say it one more time. To separate and launch full-blown, full and complete sanctions for what they are stealing from Africa and selling back to us at a higher price. We should separate. The relationship wasn't worth a plug nickel, as they say in America, wasn't even worth 1 red cent from the beginning to this very gigasecond. Is when you split a second to this very split second, the relationship has never been worth 1 red cent anyhow. So I say, let's declare as a collective. Now here we go with your emoji, and here's your tawheed for your unity now. To let's separate with full and complete collective sanctions, full and complete and collective. Whatever we have done since we've been on this earth, when the African decided to do it collectively in full-blown solidarity, we completed. We got that job done. We can get this job done on sanctions. Build your own military with full recruitment, good training. We got training sitting right on your screen right now. You got 3 expert trainers in some high-end profession in military stratagems of war. And a matter of count, all 4 on your screen right now that are standing for a full-blown military and bringing full sanctions of complete separation from the Euro-Asian, meaning European Chinese, should have never been in our business anyhow. And we got, through self-determination, we will get them in Kuchikajalia, we will get them with the hotep of the black African and the salams of those connected to the peace. It said to find the peacemaker, direction from Dr. Frederick Douglass, to find the peacemaker and organize against your warmongers, your vicious and open enemy, the Eurasian. Black power.
Wow, wow. So go to Brother Rowan. We got 20 minutes. Still got time. Go to Brother Rowan. What is your take about the Chinese behavior towards our people? Because right now, they clearly want to take over. They want to take over the continent. They want to take over our communities. They want to take over our jobs. So, what is your take about the Chinese behavior?
My take. I was listening to my brother talking. Made some great points. My take on their behavior. Again, going back to resources and going back to history. Whoever controls, and this is my opinion solely, whoever controls Africa controls America.
Like power.
China owns at least 90% of our debt, at least. So it's a distraction when it comes to this racism towards the black man. Well, we already understand why, we're targeted. We're the chosen, period. We're chosen. And so that's the front that they want, that's being put out there. It's racism. But let's keep the main thing. Whoever controls Africa controls America. So with America having held 90%, or China holding 90% of our debt, if we cut into Africa as Americans, then now the United States can't go to Africa and say, "Hey, listen, yeah, we have a partnership as far as the military is concerned," but I believe it's a strategic move to cripple black folks in America, and then America as a whole. See, it's a political stronghold. So, I was just telling Brother Kwame as we were waiting for the show to come on, Africa has every resource known to man. So here it is, you got this thing going over in Africa with the African student being crucified, saying, well, you can't do this and you can't do that because you have the coronavirus, quotation marks. And we're being targeted because that's just the front. So if China moves in and gains all the resources and teaching all of these different things with everybody else trying to get a hold of Africa, whoever gains control of Africa gets resources. Whoever controls Africa controls America, because America can't make a straight line to attack China, because it's really about, I'll be honest, it's really about America versus China. But see, Africa is in between those two. So let me gain control of the resources so America can't even come in and make a bargain. So that's the problem. I just feel that Africa has allowed too many people to pillage her. Period.
Wow. So, brothers and sisters, you can see the show. So we want this conversation to keep in alive from all the social network, and make sure you let your family know, because that's what it's about. It's about bringing this parliament, just so we can really talking about our solution and our problems. So go to Brother Kwame. I'd even go a step further of what Brother Rowan says. If you control Africa, you control the world economy, because the world, all the economy depends on what's come out in the African land. That is why Bill Gates is running like a crazy chicken, trying to get a piece of Africa, because he understands he need that components to be able to make his own computer, to be able to build his cell phone. Everybody want a piece of Africa. because they understand whoever controls Africa controls the world economy, controls the world. So, do you agree with this statement and why, brother Kwame?
Yeah, the proof is in the pudding. In the pudding. Since the Berlin Conference in 1884, when all the European countries got together, they got together for a reason. Yes, they were fighting amongst each other, but they said they had this meeting in Germany, and they said, you know what? In order for us to elevate our race, in order for us to develop economically, we need to focus on one country. We need to focus on Africa. So let's work together. So the different countries that were part of the Berlin Conference in Germany in 1884, they split up Africa. So yeah, I definitely agree that they knew that Africa. I mean, this is back in the 1800s. They knew there was something about Africa. There was the resources in Africa that they were going after. So that's what this is all about right now. That's exactly what this is all about. So I definitely agree with your statement that the number one reason why everything is happening, right now, is for those resources in the land of the Congo, where you're from, Angola. It's Angola, right?
I'm from the kingdom. I don't like to call it, I'm from the kingdom.
From the kingdom, okay, right, okay. But at the end of the day, all the European countries are taking and taking and taking and taking. So we just have to come together and have a no holds barred type of mentality. Let's fight back. We have to say, you know what, that Berlin Conference that you guys had, it doesn't mean anything right now. So y'all gotta leave. Y'all gotta leave. Y'all gotta leave, and we gotta give them terms. Let's say 28 days. There's 28 days in the Black History Month. You know what I'm saying? They gave us 28 days for Black History. So let's say, okay, every European country in Africa, you got 28 days to leave.
Wow. So move to the elder. Give us the 4 steps left to build our military base. Give us the 4 steps left. We got about 15 minutes. Give us the 4 steps left to build our military base.
The 4 steps that I would give you is number 1, again, recruitment and community outreach is at the base of the success of our stratagem of war against the opposition, and then using that force to rally and spread the word that we're building a black military that's effective against the opposition, that there's not a matter of how many guns you have. Because if you have 1 flake of anthrax or 1 Derringer and you kill the enemy, it's just that 1 flake of anthrax and that 1 Derringer becomes a weapon of mass destruction, because when you are killing your enemy and taking down the enemy, you use everything in the environment becomes a weapon, and use those weapons is not knowledge itself. Spiritualism itself is not spiritualism, it's not knowledge until you use it effectively against your open enemy. And drill your men, stay in your best physical and spiritual shape, your best cultural, your best intellectual, and your best academic shape. You should always bring and sharpen your sword. Bring that to the table with your intention to leave the table with the stratagems of war from that collective body. And what you have to do is deal with the rally and move your troops in position against your open enemy and separate. We are starting on the born day of Malcolm X, El-Hajj Malik Al-Shabazz. On May 19th, there'll be sanctions across America, throughout the world. In the UK, Huey P. Rose, our ambassador, is right there in the UK, and he's going with full-blown sanctions against the enemy. Kemi Seba is right there in France, and all of the African continent. We got our beloved brother, Chris Sankara in Zimbabwe, Azania in Africa. We got different parts in Kenya, and we got the sanctions going throughout Nairobi and places of Ghana, West Africa. We got some troops there, and we got them saying full-blown sanctions. Let's leave this challenge. Leave the open enemy alone, because our scientists have had this all the time. We just were not driven by greed. We knew about the science of how to use, again, the uranium, the gold, the diamonds, and silver. We've had it all the time. But they've been using the reverse psychology to take it from us and sell it back at higher price. So let's shut them down with sanctions, full and complete, against our open enemy, the Euro-Asian, meaning the European and the Asian, that team up to bring a pandemic 19 virus to your doorstep.
Wow.
Never give him, never, ever again should we give him an opportunity to have access to a prolonged relationship with African people. Never again. Black power.
So, Brother Rowan, give us the 4 steps to build that military base. Your 4 steps left, brother, before we conclude.
All right, four steps left, and we talked about majority of them in our talks. We talked about history. We talked about resources. I like what my man just said. As far as the greed was concerned, motivation. And he was talking about recruitment. He was talking about outreach. What's the motivation when you looking at strategy or war? And we talked about this the other night. When you had the conflict with the when I'm talking about the conflict, talking about the United States and the Iraqi armies, if you don't have the outreach, like my brother said, and you don't have the necessary resources, then you'll find out what a man's motivation is. So you gotta really kick in the motivation. Why are you fighting? What are you fighting for? What's your approach? That's my next one. We talked about spiritual presence, and like I said, we talked about history. If you don't have history, if you don't have resources, if you don't have the motivation, if you don't have an approach, and you don't have spiritual presence, then what do you have? You gotta have. I can't get enough of my motivation. What are you fighting for? As I was talking earlier, when I joined the military, my motivation was school. I knew that the U.S. military was going to send me to school. I knew that there were perks within the military while I was in that I could take advantage of. You want to make sure that the people that you recruit, like my brother was saying, don't become a liability. You want your people to be an asset. You want your people to be an asset because, like I said, when I joined, my motivation was for school, but I had to change my motivation when I was in the conflict. You don't want your people in conflict to change their motivation, and then you lose the war based on the motivation. So you gotta recruit. I like my brother said, you got to recruit, and when you recruit them, what are you teaching them? What are you teaching them?
Brothers and sisters, as you can see, we're having this open discussion. For all of you that leave in your comments, make sure you circulate this message and then let the family know. So Brother Kwame, same question to you. Your 4 steps left to build our military base. Real quick.
My steps, in regards to building a military system. First of all, the motherland. We must know and understand aerial warfare, sea and naval warfare, guerrilla warfare, sniper warfare, in this day and age, cyber warfare, and we need to understand defensive tactics. We need to be more strategic and innovative, and be more creative with new forms of warfare. We need to be more stealth. That doesn't exist in the motherland right now. Number 2, Brother Imam and Brother Ron, they mentioned the recruit countries in Africa. We can select 100,000 or 200,000 willing and prideful men without the use of propaganda. Let's not use propaganda and brainwashing from each country to protect Africa's interests. So now, if you have 200,000 men times 54 countries, that's 10 million soldiers right there. 10 million soldiers. And out of those 10 million soldiers, let's take 5 million and give them specialized training, and and have those be Africa's special forces, and incorporate, like we mentioned earlier in the conversation, incorporate African mysticism. You know, because we have to have that alignment with physical with the spiritual when we're fighting. That's a must. I also mentioned earlier in the conversation, we don't have any naval ships. Africa doesn't have any naval ships. They don't have any aircrafts. Let's start building our naval ships, carriers, jets, and have those, those aircrafts and, naval ships, fueled by air and sunlight. Most of the jets and the Navy ships be fueled by the ocean. Have our equipment be environmentally friendly. We need to create strategic military points, inland and close to the seas. That's very important. We have to create strategic military points, to protect all corners and all corners of Africa and inland also. And to get more technical, we need military satellites. We need to start building military satellites and create satellite destroyers. For example, the satellite destroyers will destroy any satellite that shoots any suspicious signal into Africa, because we know that's what they're doing. They're actually spying on Africa. And these satellites will let African intelligence know what country is spying. So that was more of a technical, strategy to building up a military system.
Wow. So we brothers and sisters, as you can see, we're having this show to be able to bring the information to you, and then just so you can now begin to understand. Let's build. Ask questions. Look, ask questions and then strategize. Because right now it's about strategize. Even though they're putting it on this so-called quarantine lockdown, but it is a time to strategize, to understand. Like once they open up this border, we're gonna begin to move. We need to start moving and then implement our ideas to practice. Not only the theory but to practice. So, Elder in Washington D.C., last word to the family worldwide. Any last word that you want to send to the family worldwide before we let you go?
We want you to again incorporate with all of the international movement to move on sanctions to end the relations with China and the Asians, and do this for ourselves. We can produce.
I just need you to back off the camera. That's all.
You can produce. We can produce. We have our doctors, our scientists. We're not asking for a damn thing except to depend on each other for your salvation. That's your key out of this, brother and sister. Look to each other for your salvation, for health and medicine, for stratagems of war against your enemy. Look to the new Black Panther Party for self-defense. We have ample resources to aid black people in and throughout America and throughout the diaspora, and we can help them at home in Africa. Looking for one United States in Africa, looking for one currency. Let me be very clear. One currency in Africa should be suggested to every prime minister, every king, every prince, every leader in Africa should be working for one currency on the African continent. And throughout America, we should be looking to trade with that one currency and get the hell away from his dollar, get on our gold, our diamonds, our silver that he has been raping from Africa, and begin to use it for the benefit of self. We have the business program of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, live and well. It will be all revealed on May 19th. In just a couple of weeks, everything will be full blown, fully launched, and in place to service black people, to meet all of the needs of black people. Leave the European and the Asian out of your equation for your freedom, justice, and equality, that you may walk free for yourself, brother and sister. And you will be able to defeat, oh Allah, grant us a victory over a disbelieving and a wicked people. And those will be answered. Those in the Ramadan right now know that the prayers of Allah, says in sincerity, are always answered during Ramadan. All of them have been corrupt. A corrupt democracy, a corrupt communism, a corrupt Islamic state, a corrupt African government. That's why every damn one of them been shut down. So understand me. None of them coming with clean hands, but Allah gave you an opportunity now to come back, rejuvenate, clean in your umoja, your black unity, in your tawheed, in your unity of Islam and all the faithful spiritualism. Bring them all together and we go against the wicked, no good, low down devil, the white man and the slant-eyed devil today. We should be organizing, arm yourself or harm yourself against your open and vicious enemy, because he certainly has armed himself against you. Black power.
Wow.
Power.
So before go to Brother Ron, real quick, quick message to the entire family worldwide. Obviously, your message is being felt. So a quick message to the African family worldwide. Brother Ron. So I can you hear me?
All right, there we go.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Repeat that question again for me, brother.
So I said a last message to the entire family worldwide, brother. Quick message.
The last message I would have, and I love what the Jamaican brother said, man. When he came on, man, that brother set my soul on fire. Unity. Period. Unity. Because when you look at the bigger picture of what that man was saying, you know, he talked about spirituality, he talked about unity. I loved his message. And if I had a message to give, I would say Africa unify. And stop giving out your resources to people who don't lay legal claim to it. It's yours. You have everything you need. Everything you need. I mean, literally, you are everything you need. You're everything with the world. You see, I'm gonna get fired up, so I'm just gonna leave it at that because I'm excited. But we just have to unify as a people, man. As that brother set me on fire. I love what he had to say.
Oh yes.
So he said unify.
Oh yes. So brothers and sisters, one more time, tune in next week. We're gonna be having brothers in Ethiopia and Jamaica to really break it down what's going on, because the Chinese are going on the full force to trying to take over Jamaica. We can't let that happen. We can't let the legacy of Marcus Garvey, the Rastafari movement, just being under the mercies of these damn Chinese. We need to fight back, brothers and sisters. So that's why next week we're going to be having Brother Oshin. We're going to be having brother Andrew Dixon, one of the great scholar. We're going to be having the priest. We're going to be having so many great warriors, Jamaica and Ethiopia, because both of those two lands connect. So that's why next week don't miss out the greatest show, aka show. So Brother Kwame, quick message to the entire family worldwide too.
My quick message is I agree with Brother Imam and Brother Ron. The motherland needs to organize and unite, and bring back and rely on ancient spirituality. I keep harping on that. Ancient spirituality, that's a must. That's key right now in this day and age. We also need to figure out how to use our resources ourselves, and not having outside influences come in and pillage our resources and steal them, for pennies on the dollar. We need to, keep the European and outside influences out of African development. And that's my closing statement.
Wow. So before I let you go, Elder, it's going to be questions for all three, but go to the Elder. I will mention one name. I'll mention the name. All you need to answer me with one word. All right? I will mention names. You answer me with one word or 2 word maximum. Right? So I'll start with Elder. Donald Trump.
45.
Malcolm X.
Malcolm X, freedom, justice, and equality.
Obama.
Best in management and multitask.
Brother Hashim Zinga.
the best in the wisdom of the Honorable Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad. He is Akhenaten, the oneness of Akhenaten in the Kemetic science.
Minister Louis, Honorable Louis Farrakhan.
The minister, no matter what language, where you are on the planet Earth, the minister means the most honorable minister, Louis Farrakhan.
Wow. Go to Brother Rowan. Hillary Clinton.
It was Cleveland, I think.
Yeah, my brother.
Brother, can you listen to me?
I can hear you now. Say that again.
Okay. I'm gonna throw out names, and then you give me answer me with 1 or 2 words. Okay?
Go ahead.
Hillary Clinton.
Say that again. I couldn't hear you.
Hillary Clinton.
Hillary Clinton. Snaky.
Bill Gates. Bill Gates. Bill Gates.
Snaky.
Harriet Tubman.
Oh man, freedom.
Dr. King, where you are right now, because you're in a great city of Atlanta. Dr. King.
Dr. King. I have a lot of things to say, but I'll say a trailblazer.
Tyler Perry, where you are? You actually live close to Tyler Perry's studio. Tyler Perry. Tyler Perry. And then thank you for that. You're the one who brought me to the Tyler Perry studio. Tyler Perry, go ahead.
No comment.
No comment.
What'd you say? What? No, I can hear. I can hear. What'd you say?
No comment.
Oh, no comment. What you mean no comment? Medea. Medea. Medea.
No comment. No comment, man.
Oprah Winfrey. Oprah Winfrey.
Oprah Winfrey.
Yeah. Oprah Winfrey.
Trickery.
Ooh. Okay. Frederick, move to Brother Kwame. Frederick Douglass. Brother Kwame.
Pioneer.
Marcus Masagavi.
True trailblazer.
Malik Zulu Shabazz.
Greatness.
Dr. Khalid Muhammad. I even forgot to ask the elder, but go ahead. Dr. Khalid Muhammad.
Power and strength.
Ooh. So, Rosa Parks, our great ancestor.
Strength.
Oh, go to the elder. I can't let you go away with the elder. Nelson Mandela, elder.
Once revolutionary, past compromiser.
Winnie Mandela.
Total freedom, justice, and equality for all black people internationally.
Patrice Lumumba.
Freedom fighter, up in all black people, up your mighty nation.
Queen Elizabeth.
Baby driver.
Now let me ask you this question. So I gotta set a shot. Queen Janae.
Don't give up the fight.
Hold on. Bring my camera. Hold on. Queen Janae early cooked.
The best of the best of the best.
Okay, Queen Janae, you heard it, right? You're the best of the best. Anyway, so brothers, it's such a pleasure and honor to have you in our platform. So feel free. Anybody want to leave any contact, any social network real quick before we go?
Yes, sir, we will. To get with the new Black Panther Party, and I want to give you one on my exit. The one that was announced this week was, you think over about time I finished saying this, Marie Antoinette, if you remember who that was. But the bottom line, and Benedict Arnold, I've attached Marie Antoinette to the guy that's over the Senate, a redneck that tried to block reparations, Marie Antoinette, and Benedict Arnold I've attached to Donald Trump. But I'm going to give you 202-550-8521. Again, the telephone number to contact us here at New Black Panther Party for Self-Defense is 202-550-8521. Listen to us tomorrow night. We're on Black Power Radio tomorrow night. Dial in at 646-478-4447. Tomorrow, our guest is the attorney and Dr. Malik Zulu Shabazz. We've got another doctor and attorney and a great man, the freedom fighter of the Olympic Games, Dr. John Carlos. And we have, again, a doctor over laboratories to explain all the virus is Dr. Savage, Dr. Jacob Savage. Don't miss us tomorrow. It's a total freedom fighting show. We have a vast listening and participating audience. We have the most informative radio talk show on the internet, on your cell phone, or on your radio.
Wow, bro.
You don't want to miss it. Like Power.
Before I let you go, we can't forget this name, Professor John Eric Clark. What is your word?
John Hendrick Clark was a great historian, investigator, did thorough work, but I think he's totally wrong on Christianity, Islam, because all the great leaders he's bragging on were Malcolm, Elijah, and all of the great ones, Kuma, all of them had some kind of spirituality. So I don't denounce my great spirituality, but I don't denounce John Hendrick Clark, Dr. Ivan Van Sertima, Dr. Chancellor Williams, all of those on the link of Dr. Yusuf Ben Yakana, all of them is just one scholar. When you break it down, if the point guard being Nat Turner, see, where the pivotal point where, again, your investigative professor, Henry Louis Gates, the one they call Skipper Gates, they call him a trade and a turncoat, but he still pointed, all of them pointed back to Nat Turner, the Honorable Prophet Nat Turner, who was the pivotal point, the original freedom fighter that pointed to what the abolishment of slavery, but it's not even totally abolished today. So I stand on John Henry Clark, but I can never agree that Malcolm and Elijah didn't know what they were talking about, because they knew a whole lot about what they did. And Dr. King knew a hell of a lot more than probably all of them put together, because he was a scholar, but he also said, forget about my education, forget about my Nobel Peace Prize. He said, you tell him that Dr. King died trying to help somebody. So what? That my living will not be in vain.
Wow. Brother Kwame, a quick message, if you don't leave any comment or any contact details real quick before we go. 1 minute.
Yeah, real quick. I just want to let everybody know that I'm part of a nonprofit organization called the Sankofa Repatriation Assistance Program. This is pretty much a nonprofit organization. I'm one of the volunteers. We're looking for a donation of at least $1, from our brothers and sisters to help, for those who want to repatriate to the motherland, to Africa. We're trying to raise $1 million. And within that pot of money, we'll help you, build businesses in the motherland. And again, these are for, people who want to repatriate, to the motherland, who are tired of living in this country. We're all about the economic development of the motherland of Africa. And if you want to build businesses, out of that $1 million pot, we'll give you up to $40,000, toward your business. It doesn't matter what type of business it is. We'll help you build your business. You have 5 countries to choose from: Senegal, Ghana, Sierra Leone, Gambia, and Nigeria. Those are the 5 countries that you can choose to build businesses in Africa. The website to go to is www.sankofarepat.com. Sankofa Repat is spelled SANKOFAREPAT.com. And you can reach our sister Tanya, who is the CEO and founder. Her number is 571-217-59 Just sit behind you.
You gotta get one more.
A lot of noise coming from your side. It's your side, brother Kwame. Your side, brother Kwame. It's from your side. So just unmute yourself, brother Kwame. Okay.
Numbers one time.
Great. Brother Kwame, you just need to mute yourself. Mute yourself.
That's more.
No, mute yourself.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think you can obviously you can hear some noise, but it was such an amazing to have this truly brilliant mind. So please, brothers and sisters, get in touch for more information. That's what we're here for, giving to you the best of ourselves, giving to you love from UK to the world. And remember, it's about connecting the 54 states of Africa, include Jamaica, include the United States, include Brazil, because remember, Brazil is the second largest African nation after Nigeria. So don't you exclude Brazil on this fight. We have to put a Brazil on it. So shout out to our brothers and sisters in the United States. Keep it up, a great work, and it's such a pleasure to have you in our platform. Let's connect. Let's build a real connection, just so we can protect our land, protect our community, and understanding. We are at war, and the invasion is happening. The Chinese invasion is happening. The European invasion is always been there. So we must need to do something practically to protect ourselves and protect our family. Black love, black power, black pride, and remember, it's about us. It's about Ubuntu. Your pain is our pain. Your struggle is our struggle. Peace and black power. Alpha Kwame, and I'll see you next Sunday, same time, 2 o'clock UK time. We're gonna be having the Warriors in Jamaica.
Right.
Black power to all of you.
How to get the link, brother? The link and the show that they want to play it back to their friends.
Oh yeah, oh yes. The link. We're gonna send you the link, my brother. It's easy. We streaming from all new angles, from the Radio Diamond platform. We're streaming in all social networking. We're gonna send you the video link on YouTube as well. We're gonna send you the video link, and also the most beautiful thing that we're doing, we're burning into the DVD and spreading to the community in the continent. Because as much as we're saying here, some of our brothers in the continent, they don't have access to electricity, not computers. That's why we're doing old school. So one more time, shout out to absolutely everybody, especially my brothers and sisters in Ghana, Congo, Nigeria. They've been doing this for us, and to some extent they even translate into this into the native language, just so we can have a better understand and pass the message to the elders. That's what we've been doing. Peace and blessings, because we know all these Facebooks and YouTube, it's controlled by them. We know already, so they can shut us down anytime. So we need to create alternative platform, just so we can freely talking about our problem and having a private conversation amongst ourselves as a family. One love. One love to all of you, brothers.
Black power.
And then we're going to send you the link as well to tune in for next week as well. Bless and love.
Thank you.
So yes, as you heard it, we're gonna call you off just so we can strategize even more. But one more time, thank you so much for your presence and to share the knowledge, the wisdom to our family worldwide. Thank you so much. Yes, brothers and sisters, as you can see, we're gonna have a quick break, and then we're gonna be having a designer to break it down of what's really going on. But again, keep the information, keep promoting love, keep promoting unity. That's what it's about here at Radio Diamond, bringing to you the best of ourselves. We're coming right back. One love.